Good morning, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining my meeting. Today, I'm going to share with you two topics. The first one is prayers based on goals, G-O-A-L-S, written by SGI Vice President Kawai. Here I start. He says, "We practice faith, not for the sake of practice, but for change and progress as quickly as possible. Members may say, I'm doing many SGI activities, but so what? The real question is, how much have I changed my life, my environment, and my livelihood? How much benefit have I received? There are many members who are doing lots of Daimoku, but there is no change in their lives or in their attitude. Something is wrong. Buddhism is the law of cause and effect. Faith exists for us to change our lives. For example, when we wish to travel somewhere, first we decide on the destination. Then we plan on the action. For example, the route, the kind of transport you want to take, and then we travel and reach that destination. Faith is the same. In faith, we must have 1. Clear targets. 2. Prayer. 3. Action. Action includes chanting and taking action to reach your goal. For example, if you want to be promoted, you may need to study and get a degree and upgrade yourself. And then the action also includes Kosen Rufu and taking part in SGI activities and human revolution. Okay, let me go on. It is important to first pray strongly and then take action, and we will see the results without fail. It is important to determine to change. That is to pray, I want to change, and then take necessary action. You must decide what you want to accomplish. Sometimes, after we decide or determine on our goal, there may seem to be no solutions. But that is exactly why we have to pray. We pray to change the impossible to possible. That is absolutely no need to think of methodology, because methodology cannot help you. We should simply pray like this. I want to accomplish this. I will accomplish this. This is your determination. Now, going back to what I'm sharing my experience with you, I've come across quite a few members who like to analyze and strategize our practice. But there is no way that we can strategize a mystic law. Even scientists cannot find the answers to life. So all we have to do is to trust the Gohansen, chant to the Gohansen, and know that whatever will be good for us will come to us. Okay, let me go on. If, while chanting, we think that our desires are unattainable or impossible, then that is the prayer that will be reflected onto the universe. And that is exactly the answer we will get back from the Gohansen. And the answer is, it is impossible. There is no solution. Because you have already put this in your mind. This is your Ichinen. So it will come back to you as it is. We must pray with 100% confidence in the Gohansen. I believe in the Gohansen. My prayer will definitely be answered. Just as the Gosho states, no prayer to the Gohansen will go unanswered. This is the Buddhist formula, which is 100% correct. It is our doubts that get in the way. Just now, I've come across a member. I don't know how long she has been practicing, but she has the situation now, and we are all chanting for her to overcome her situation. But time and time again, she's saying that she's very depressed. She doesn't know how she get out, and she's very worried. So, which means that you're doubting. You're doubting in the power of the chanting. And we're doubting if you can get out of your situation. Now, if you doubt, definitely your situation will not improve. And I even told her that at the very beginning of my practice, my daughter had stomach bleeding and she lost half of her blood. So while driving me to the hospital, the member who taught me chanting, I was talking to her. I said, I'm very worried. And she actually scolded me. She said, if you have faith, you don't need to worry. You have no worry. If you worry, that means you have no faith. Now, it's over 20 years now, and I can still remember what she said. Yeah, if you worry, which means that you don't believe. And if you don't believe, why practice? Why chant? Okay, let me go on. While chanting, we always try to think of or find ways to solve our problem. Therefore, our ichinen is not directed towards the Gohonzon, but directed elsewhere. Then it follows that there is no real joy in Daimoku and activities. We just keep doing what we were told to do. Driving our practice is like driving a car. There are 3 kinds of directions. 1. Forward gear. Forward gear practice consists of having a gear and specified target and determination to accomplish it through prayer and action. For example, I want a white cat. She must be of Persian species, 3 years old, with blue eyes, female, and I want her in 2 weeks. I will get it. Very specific prayer. In other words, doing a lot of activities and Daimoku with no targets and clear goals is of no use. It will not produce any changes in your life. I still remember at the very beginning of my practice. Now this is me talking now. It's not from the article. I remember when I first joined SGI activities. I went to the meetings. The lecturer, the speaker on stage said, when we practice, when we pray, we should have a target. We should pray for what we want. And that suited me very well because I'm a very practical person. And if you tell me that I can pray for whatever I want, that really suits my purpose. And I really like it. Now, I didn't know what it meant at that time. But being a business person, if I can chant and pray for whatever I want, and I'm very happy with that. Now, after years of practice and study, I know what it means. Because if you chant and there is no target and no objective, then it's like you save a lot of money in the bank and you're not using it. You just save and save and save. So it's a waste. And also, if you have no target, you are not going anywhere. You just stand still because you are not going forward. To chant for something, it's not just to reach your target, but for you to change, to learn and study. And before you reach your target, you have gone forward. You are on a higher level. So this is why we can chant for, after we reach our target, we can still chant, we can still create another target to reach. It doesn't have to be for yourself. It can be for other people. Okay? So we have to have a target to get to so we can continue chanting with passion. Okay, number 2 is a neutral gear. Neutral gear practice is chanting out of duty, with no joy nor passion. A habitual practice. For example, I'm a leader. I have responsibilities. This is why I have to do activities. But there is no effect. It's like the car analogy. The engine is full and ready to go, but nothing happens. So we really have to practice with passion, not because we have to, but because we want to. Now, this is me saying now. If you want to do something, then your energy comes forth and you enjoy and there is enthusiasm. But if you say you have to, you're forcing yourself to do something, and honestly, there's no joy. So I hope that everyone in the future will think that I want to chant, I want to encourage people, I want to do Kosan Rufu. That makes a big difference. Okay, number 3, reverse gear. Reverse gear practice is when the more activities and daimoku one is doing, one is still going backwards rather than forward in one's life. In other words, one may be making a lot of seemingly good courses, but one is also complaining. COMPLAINING. That is a slander and grudges against others. Or one might be complaining about one's own situation and not seeing immediate results. This is dangerous practice. As soon as you start to complain, which means that, number 1, you are not taking responsibilities. Number 2, you are blaming others and not yourself. Number 3, you do not trust the power of the Gohonzon, the power of your chanting. This is why you complain. If you know that everything will be solved by chanting and by your trust in the Gohonzon in yourself, you will not complain. You just take action and solve your problem. Okay, let me go on. Just like in automatic transmission car, there is very little difference between forward and reverse gears. From outward appearance, it is difficult to tell where one's ichnen is, but one's life will ultimately clearly manifest it. Ichnen is what you think is going to happen. It will be manifested in the future. All right, the next paragraph is called slander. Even if you commit slander without realizing it, it is still slander. One should never criticize leaders, right or wrong. One should not complain at all. Instead, one can chant for them to grow, and one will benefit from that too. Again, do not complain, criticize, or carry a negative feeling towards husband, wife, children, or parents. This is your karma. You choose your spouse, partner, children, or even your parents. Chant for their growth. Further, do not depend or rely on others. Do not complain that they don't do this or don't do that. Criticism will bring no benefit, but it will certainly bring negative effects. I remember when my son came to Sydney, there was a young man's member, and he was very, very, very devoted to our practice, and he took part in all the SGI activities and supporting members. And at that time, I just thought, instead of asking my son to do it, I just thought, I wish my son could do that. And I chanted for my son to be active in SGI activities. And there it goes. My son is now a member, and he's chanting, and he's holding meetings, and he's encouraging other members. So in conclusion, we must eradicate the following types of prayer. Number 1, out of habit or ritual. That is, without any target or determination. Number 2, out of delusion. That is, while chanting, trying to find solutions to your problem. Please do not use your mind when you chant. Just concentrate. Of course, sometimes we will think of something else. All right, like sometimes I do think, okay, what do I want to eat next? But I would not be trying to find a solution. Instead, when I chant, I would chant for a solution, and let the Gohonzon and help me to bring my wisdom come forth. And when your wisdom comes forth, the solution will come. Okay, number 3, out of disbelief. That is thinking that this is impossible and what will not happen or change. And a lot of members do behave this way. Let me go on. Instead, pray with your entire heart. Your entire being should be that I'm going to build a bridge towards my happiness and those of others by myself. By using the supreme wisdom of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, one needs to have the experience of benefits breakthroughs so as to encourage others. I have so many benefits through this practice. What about you? Especially, senior members must receive many benefits. Buddhism is reason. Otherwise, what is the purpose of practicing? This is why Nichiren says, or Sensei says, the actual proof is more important than theoretical proof or what is it? Theoretical. Sorry, I forgot all the proofs. Let me go on. But actual proof is the most important. Oh yeah, documentary proof. Now I remember. Okay, now there are a few experiences that I found in this article and I'm going to share with you. The first experience starts. There was a young lady, student division, who wanted to go to the USA and Japan to study. It was impossible, as she had no money. So she prayed, deeply prayed. I want to go to the USA to study. I will go. 1 year later, she reported positive results. There had seemed to be no solution, but a bridge was formed through her sincere daimoku. There was no solution at the time because she did not have money. But she built a bridge with her prayer and chanting. And this is the mystic law. It is beyond our understanding, which is why it's called mystic. So, there is no need to think. Just trust and pray. Number 2. There was a women's division member who came for guidance. Her husband had terminal cancer, and doctors said he would not live longer than 3 months. Her question was, can he be cured? The leader went on to say that President told us guidance was that when we determine that the only one thing we can trust is the Gohonzon, then the body begins to recover from sickness. This means to cure one's own sickness by oneself through faith. The human body is capable of producing 700 types of medicines. But when our life force is weak, then nothing is produced. When our life philosophy is polluted by slander and impurities, then our life cannot produce its healing power. Buddhism is great. Our life is great. It is supreme. It is divine. It is the life of the Buddha. Through faith, we can always manifest this supreme state of the Buddha, this power of the Gohonzon. Now, talking about illness, I remember years ago, my faith wasn't very strong and I was always sick, not feeling well and then no energy, no forth. And then, actually, somebody, I forgot who told me, he or she said, our bodies are a wonderful machine. We can produce anything to heal ourselves. And then I still remember, yes, our body can heal ourselves. Let me go on. People call Buddhism great, but actually it teaches us that our own lives are great. With determination, great life force and wisdom can be manifested from our lives and bodies to overcome sickness, which is one's negative karma, the source of which is slander. So the real question is not whether the illness is curable. Rather, the question is whether I can determine it is curable. The woman told her husband about this guidance, and together both corrected their ichnen and prayed, and he was cured. 3. A woman's division leader in Japan could not walk due to pain in her legs caused by rheumatism. She was asked, do you think that your disease can be cured? She replied, no. So that is your desire. If that is your desire or your state of mind, then that is what the answer from the Gohonzon is. No cure. Full stop. replied the senior leader. The leader continued by saying that if the medical doctor has given up, if he says there's no cure for your condition, then that is the time to summon up your determination to change the impossible to possible. Now, going back to my experience, I remember, as I said, I was very sick a long time ago when I started. And then my senior member gave me this advice. She said, Lydia, sometimes do not listen to what other people say. If you chant for good health, then you will come across a lot of obstacles. Like the doctor will say, there is no cure. Like the friends will say, yeah, you are so weak. Then what are you going to do? So all these negative things will come to your mind. And then this member said, Lydia, do not listen to what other people say, because they do not have the Go Hansen. Their situations, your situation will be different from theirs. Because you've got the Go Hansen, you can change the impossible to possible. Do not let them deter your action and your determination and your faith. So please, don't listen. And sometimes, you can criticize me for that. I don't always listen to doctors. Because according to me, doctors only know from textbooks or from the information given to me by the pharmacies, by the pharmaceutical companies. And so this is why sometimes what they say are just from textbooks. But we have the mystic law. The Go Hansen knows much better. So this is why sometimes the doctors say one thing and I will check on the internet, I will check with a lot of other doctors or other opinion, and then decide whether I'm going to listen to them or not. Okay, let me go on. The very next day, the woman called the leader to report that when she determined, the pain disappeared from her legs, and 2 weeks later, she was completely cured. Her suffering had been caused by her thinking that it was impossible to be cured, that she would have to live with this in her whole life. But the moment she determined her Ichinen to overcome through faith in the Go Hansen, the power of the mystic law was manifested through her life. I think recently, it's me again. I remember a member asked me what Ichinen is. So I hope today, after he listened to the lecture, he will understand more about what Ichinen is. Okay, number 4. There was a men's division chapter chief in Japan, which had a small trading company, and it was almost bankrupt. The sales had dropped by half. At that time, he prayed deeply that the sales should climb to $3 million. And so it happened. The next year, his target was $5 million, and a year later, $7 million. Therefore, it is important to determine first, then chant. Now, only is fresh from the oven. There is a member who's got problem with her business, and she is feeling so down. So this is why I encourage her to listen to more of these experiences. It's not your business, your determination that it's going to work. Your business will improve. You will draw more business to you because you shine. And when you shine, you shine because of your chanting, because of your faith in the Go Hansen, because of your activities in Kozen Rufu and SGI activities. And if you shine, you are so attractive that all the customers will come to you. I remember when I was doing interior design business in Hong Kong, after my practice, a lot of customers came to me, and even if my charges are much higher than the others, or even when I was busy, they were willing to wait, and they were willing to pay for my higher prices because they like me, because they trust me. This is the result of our chanting. And also, I think I've shared this experience with you before. There was the husband of a member. I think he was also a member. He failed in his business because his partner cheated. So I think he got bankrupt. He closed the company and he had to look for a job. So he started to look for a job, but quite a high-profile job because he used to be very successful in his business. So he applied for a job and he went to the United States for an interview. When he came back, the wife asked him how he was doing, And he said, I'm not going to get a job because there are 5 criteria that there are 5 requirements of 9 criteria, and I don't have even one of them. But then impossible thing happened. He was contacted by this American company for a second interview, and he went there and he was offered a job. And because we members are very honest and straightforward, and he asked the boss, I don't have any of your requirements. Why would you hire me? And you know what the boss said? He said, I trust you. This is all. So when we chant, people trust us. They like us. This is why you get all the good opportunity, all the good fortune. But you have to chant well. You have to trust. Okay, so let me go on. Number 5. An owner of a barber shop reported drop of sales due to lack of customers. He was advised to determine and pray concretely and in specific detail exact number of customers for haircuts, for blow dry, etc. Detailed prayer with a deadline. Now let me quote my sister's experience when she was working for a bank and she had to meet her quota. And initially she found it hard, but afterwards she chanted that she'll be able to meet the quota. And she did. She met the quota every month. Number 7. One woman had severe economic financial problems. She prayed and chanted 3 hours daily in the morning. I want this amount of benefit today. I need it. And she received it. Number 8. The president of a fisheries company was very concerned about the drop in catch of fish as it was affecting his sales. So he went for guidance. The leader asked him, you say that you can't get lots of salmon fish. Does this mean that there is no salmon, or are you unable to catch them? I can't get any, he replied. Why can't you call them to your net? Did you pray like that? The leader encouraged. No, I didn't. There's no natural boundary in the ocean, the leader said. So why don't you pray like that? And so this guy did pray like that, and his catch went up from 20 fishes to 300 in one day. His company went from deficit to surplus. This is no miracle. This is the law. This is reason. What is amazing is when you don't get benefits, even though you do chant. Now, I hope there's the member who is struggling with her business will listen to all these experiences, so she will know how to change her ichinen. Okay, let me go on. We need to experience benefits through faith and prayer to show power of the Gohonsen and encourage others. Now, this is what we call the actual proof. President Toda and President Ikeda said there are 10 reasons why no change or benefits occur in senior leaders' lives, even though they have been practicing for a long time. So the 10 reasons are listed as follows. Number 1, unclear determination. 2, no concrete targets or objectives. 3, doing regular gongyo, but no concrete prayer. 4, passive gongyo and activities, passive it says, right? And activities from a sense of obligation. You just say, I have to, but not I want to. Number 5, a complaining and begrudging attitude about faith. Now, this is what a lot of members do. They complain and they grudge. Okay, number 6, seeking spirit for senior leaders. Guidance has become weaker. So, I was told right from the start that when we have a problem, please go and get guidance. And I did. I remember when I first started, I went to 4 leaders. to guide me for encouragement. And each of them served a very specific purpose. And whenever I've got a problem, I would think, okay, which leader can help me? One of them is very good with philosophy. One is very good in putting the practice in daily life. One is very good in the faith. One is very good in supporting. She said, I'll chant for you. So I've got 4 different Sultan's engines, I would say, to help me. This is why I could progress very fast. And I would not hesitate to go to any one of them if I've got questions. Number 7, not working hard, either at home or in the office. Number 8, depressed because of various sufferings in life or worries in life. You feel depressed because you're worried. Number 9, weak sense of mission for Kosen Rufu. A lot of people will just say chant and chant and chant and chant for what they want, but they do not put in their effort for Kosen Rufu. Now, life is very fair. Life is give and take. You don't just take and take and take. You have to give. And our Buddhist practice is all about helping others. I always quoted the last 4 sentences in our Gonyo, Mai Chi Sa Se Nen Iga Ryu Sujo, Tokunu Mujo Do Sokujoju Bushi, which means that this is the thesis, the main reason why we practice Buddhism is to enable us to help everyone so they can start practicing and get this good Buddhist theory to help them. Every minute, every single moment in our mind is what we should be thinking of, how we can help others to attain Buddhahood by introducing them to this practice. Okay, number 10, our sense of responsibility is weak. Okay, even one of the above is missing, then faith has become habitual and there is no benefit. We must have dreams, which lead to hope and finally become reality when we chant. Therefore, we must have big dreams. As there is a Western saying, dare to dream. Okay, so I think this article has taken quite some time. I was going to share with you another topic called birth, sickness, death, and aging. But I think I will leave it until next time because I want to leave the rest of the time for us to share your problems, your questions, and your beliefs. Is that okay?